The Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week, Monday through Friday, for a long time. I mean, it's a long time to sit here for 2 hours and chit-chat, and I've been doing this for, going on a year and a half now. My God. Year and a half. 4.5. What's wrong with me? I'm already acting like I'm a fucking drunk fool. 4.5 years sitting right here. People, when they see me, like if I haven't seen them for a long time, and, like the last time I saw them, I was maybe a year into podcasting. So what are you doing now? They just assume that dried up. Well, I'm still doing the same thing I was when I talked to you last time. I haven't done anything different. Couple personnel changes. A dog died, and we got a new dog. God rest Daisy's eternal soul. Who was the asshole that said, "Oh yeah, dogs don't have a soul"? I remember when I was a kid, when Queenie died, and I don't know if it was my mom or my dad. They're like, that's just terrible. Yeah. Well, I see him when I go to heaven. And, I guess it just depends on what you believe. Even that statement would make you go, wait a minute. Some of you. And my mom goes, no. My mom or my dad, I don't know which one. No, you won't. They don't have a soul. They just die. I'm like, what the fuck? Huh? Now, it's like the opposite. Everybody believes that the dogs go to the Rainbow Bridge. It's like a separate place. No. I just have to have a little faith that that's true. But people say it like it's fact. Oh, yeah, it's a place, the Rainbow Bridge. It's right next to Asgard. And then heaven, it's like a neighborhood. You got Asgard, Rainbow Bridge, Heaven. It's all neighbor, you can just bop around from place to place. Oh, okay. Stevie wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and says, "Oh, good. Dog death talk. My favorite. Asshole. It's so not. It was a joke, which you ruined because you opened your mouth again." Stevie is the quintessential, "Oh, I don't like it, so I'm going to get disgusted and fly off with a stupid comment that's going to derail everything." Shut up! Jesus fuck. I'm trying to do my thing here. Stupid asshole. Sit down. You know what? Enjoy the next 10 minutes. Idiot. For fuck's sake. Now I'm in a bad mood. The ridiculousness of describing it as Rainbow Bridge next to Asgard and Heaven is the joke. And then you fuck it up. Tyler says, speaking of Asgard, here's, I don't know how to say that hammer's name. Mjolnir, a.k.a. the Banhammer. Boom. Radio voice Linda says, we could go back to Gordon Lightfoot death talk. Oh, that was fantastic. That was just unbelievable. In fact, Trucker Dan, who is the biggest Gordon Lightfoot fan, I think I mentioned him yesterday about this. We've had conversations about Gordon. He writes, after he heard yesterday's Gordon Lightfoot tribute, I think that Gordon might actually might have appreciated how fucked up that tribute was. I had made a comment during yesterday's show about how that guy, oh, fuck, he looked so terrible. At about the time he died. He says the reason he aged very poorly was because he had either an aneurysm or a ruptured aorta. Can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it was an aneurysm. Ruptured aorta. You're dead in like 30 seconds. In like 2003-ish. And ended up in a coma for 6 months. And it basically aged him approximately 150 years. Dan says, thanks for the shout out. I'd like to take this opportunity to make the horribly mismatched Insane Asylum request of Rich Man Spiritual, the first track on his first album ever, in order to send him off properly. So Gordon will go up. He'll see Daisy at the Rainbow Bridge. He'll see Asgard. He'll see Heaven, I guess. You know, when I grew up, very Catholic community, and I didn't know of anything about other denominations. I didn't even know what a Jew was. They didn't even explain that, or at least I didn't pay attention in catechism, that Jesus was a Jew. I don't know, man. It just didn't stick with me. But I thought, everybody thought, that you go up to heaven when you die. Boy, was I wrong. Holy shit, there's a whole new world out there. It's like the other side of the wall in fucking Game of Thrones. What the fuck is all this shit? I was one of the wildings. It's your Game of Thrones reference for the day. Okay. Let's see. Dear Meathead questions are needed. Eric at EricZaneShow.com. We'll have Dad in 49 minutes. Eric at EricZaneShow.com if you have a question for Dear Meathead. I was taking a look at a few of them. A couple people sent some along on the Facebook post. And after a conversation I had with him yesterday, I'm getting the idea that when he has to recollect, like go back in time, I think that it's a crapshoot whether or not we're going to get an answer. Like John writes, Dear Meathead, what has been your favorite decade to live in and why? And here's where we're at right now. When I was talking with him, I'm starting to get the impression that the vulnerability that is on display with my father in discussions is becoming, concerning his mind, is becoming more prominent with the dementia. And it has me concerned. And I've said to you many, many times, I hate to bring the room down. Stevie already tried to do that, but we're not going to allow that to happen. If anybody's going to bring the room down, it's going to be me. I've said many times that when I start to feel like he's too vulnerable when talking to him, I'm going to end the segment. I'm starting to think about that. He still seems to enjoy it, and I think now that if I suddenly said, "Hey, Dad, we're gonna pass," it would actually hurt him. So now is not the time. Nope, we're not there yet. But I just wanted to remind you that this is a dementia patient, and we're not gonna be doing this forever. So just bear in mind because I am having a conversation with him yesterday, and I am learning to not get too far ahead on my plans because I'm talking to him, and I go, "Okay, Dad, yeah. So hey, how you doing? Great. Okay, I'm looking forward to talking to you tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Hey, I am too." And then I'm like, I just want to talk about a different topic. So I said, "Hey, on Sunday, I'm going to go up north." And man, I tell you what, I put him in a tailspin. And he goes, "What?" And he was very confused. He thought that like Sunday was suddenly like tomorrow. And he said, "Well, so you're going to call me from up north?" I go, well, tomorrow I'm calling you like I always do. And then there's a couple more days that are going to pass. And then Sunday happens. And then I go, and all of that explanation, I don't know if that hit the mark. And then he's asking me more questions that are the same questions that I've already covered like 30 seconds earlier. So I think the DVR is constantly updating, if you can picture that. Constantly deleting seeds. And had me a little bit, oh boy. So I just want to, throw that out there. Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you do want to talk to Dad. Like when John writes, Dear Meathead, what's been your favorite decade to live in and why? I might be able to finesse that one that makes sense to him. Logan writes, Hey, Meathead, have any cures from the old country for a toothache? That might be fun. Teo's got a long one that I haven't taken the time to read yet. Dear Meathead, is Alaska part of the continental or contiguous United States? I'm not going to ask him that. I can't do it. There's a plastic something, he writes, that got thrown in the toilet bowl and is now stuck in the drain. A buddy of mine brought over his Milwaukee snake, but we haven't gotten it yet. Next step, removing the toilet. Meathead, have you ever had something stuck in your toilet bowl pipes? If so, what was it? Also, the city did an inspection, and I have to replace a baffle on the septic. Meathead, has the city ever come to your house and done a septic tank inspection? If so, did they make you pay for a baffle? Editing may be necessary, he writes. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to struggle with the questions on Dad. I'm just like, I don't know what I can ask him that will resonate, that will register in his noggin, if you know what I mean. But we'll do our best. We will do our best to get through this. Let's see. Kenny said he just sent one. Thank you. Kenny asked, what do Catholics believe about when dogs die? I don't know. Kenny says, I have a question. It's short and sweet, I think. All right, let me check it out. Let me see what's up here. Kenny writes, good morning, Ruben. When you first came to the U.S. and started to experience a new life, what was your favorite thing about the U.S.? Okay. Nathan writes, what is better, red or yellow flowers? Oh. Dear Meathead, what happens when you die? That's a great question. Dono, I'm in the middle of remodeling my bathroom. I need to caulk around the tub, but I have never messed around with caulk. Do you have any tips to make working with caulk easier? Okay, I know what you're doing. You're taking the word caulk and putting in like it's supposed to be cock. He says, I've always wanted to work with caulk, but I've always been afraid of the mess it makes. All right, that's gonna make Joanne laugh her ass off. She's gonna love that. Mark writes, Meathead, Taco Tuesday. We wanted to know if a raw ground beef hard taco sounds good. That's fantastic. All right. Cooking with gas now. Love it. Love it so much. Thank you. All right. Football player Antonio Brown is back. And it's not so great. Antonio Brown, I didn't know anything about this. Thank you to D Squarius Green for the tip on the story. He sent it along via the message function on Reddit. He's from the Albany, New York area. I didn't hear anything about this. I didn't know about it, but Antonio Brown, the ex-NFL player who's a total asshole, anyone who's ever had an interaction with Antonio Brown has had a terrible, terrible experience. Jesus. Antonio Brown, if you remember the whole Tom Brady thing, Tom Brady, I think that guy's like, I think Tom Brady's actually salt of the earth. I think he's actually a really sweet guy who took Brown in New England and said, this guy's great. And then he fucked that up. And then he's gone. And then Brady goes to Tampa. He says, bring in Antonio Brown. Wraps his arms around him, and then it all gets fucked up. And then he takes off his shirt, behaves like a moron. He's gone, hasn't played football since. Nobody will bring this piece of shit on. In fact, I was just seeing the other day, he's now going out of his way to make it seem like he's picked up by a team. Like he posted right after Lamar Jackson signed his new contract with Baltimore, which made him like the highest paid player ever or some shit. Brown posted a picture of himself in a Ravens uniform and said, I'm ready. Here we go. Yes. Like he just got picked up by the Ravens. And he didn't. I remember a similar crash and burn with Terrell Owens, who, near the end of his career, just couldn't. He kept getting worse, alienating more and more people. Was all fucked up and never did latch out with another team because they all hated the guy. Brown's the same way. Well, he ended up, Brown, buying somehow, I don't know why I say somehow, it can't be that expensive, an arena football team. the National Arena League's Albany Empire in Albany, New York. And the team had been around like 3 years prior, and they'd had some success. And, when you think about Arena League football, like, you're in these mid-level or small communities like Muskegon. I have that game Saturday in Muskegon for the West Michigan Ironmen. These are mom-and-pop operations, very bare bones. You get a lot of assistance from interns, college students who work for no pay. The players work for next to nothing, who just like the competition. You get a lot of people that are could never make it with an NFL team or for whatever reason. Sometimes they go right from college right to the Arena League just to keep the competitive fire going. Well, this guy shows up and somehow manages to buy the team. This is audio check, video check from the press conference.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm excited and grateful to be a part of the Albany Empire. Obviously, with Mike in the community doing some great things. I grew up here as.
Okay, now he looks like if you ever saw the film Coming to America, when Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall reveal that they actually are princes of Zamudia or whatever the fuck. And then they dress in their fancy clothes. That he looks like Eddie Murphy.
As a little kid, watching my dad
wearing that stupid fur coat.
Be successful, and just watching this building just being erupt. As a kid.
Yeah, that's right. Watching this building being erupt.
The face painting at the stadiums, all the little camaraderies that made the city.
All the little camaraderies.
As a unit. So for me,
made the city as a human.
Family-oriented city like Albany, being here with my dad, my kids, and just giving the community and the players opportunity to live out their dreams.
What makes a community a family-oriented community? Albany is a family-oriented community. Okay, I could believe that. Are there other towns that you would describe as not family-oriented? That say no to family? Where can I go that, hey, this is not a family-oriented town? You don't want to bring families here.
So for me, it was easy. I'm just excited to be here and excited to bring Albany Empire.
Yeah, the word is excited. It's not excited, and it's also not success.
A 3P, and see these players and the community live out.
Okay, so they've won a couple of titles leading up to this, and now they're going to try to win their third. It's not happening, by the way.
Their dreams. So thank you.
Good morning. Everything right now is surreal. I remember when I first came to Albany, I was just this young kid.
Okay, that might be like the coach. Well, this is all fucked up now. This has become a flat-out catastrophe for the Albany Empire. The worst thing that happened, Antonio Brown, happened to the Albany Empire. Accused of threatening the coach, the guy you just saw there with the suit, and the players were on the road, locked them out of the hotel. Working with most recent. Okay, let me back up here. This story, the way TMZ writes it, it stacks up in a weird way. Antonio Brown's tenure as a football team owner is off to a horrific start. Accused of running the team into the ground, making violent threats toward the ex-head coach, the guy you just saw there, and locking players out of the hotel rooms. TMZ Sports spoke with two former members of the National Arena League's Albany Empire, head coach Damon Ware and quarterback Sam Castronova. And they both detailed the hellish experiences before leaving the team. Ware said Brown's ownership was doomed from the beginning when the Super Bowl champ came on board in March. So he's only been there since March. Holy fuck. Forcing other owners out by throwing money their way. I guess what he means by that is what they mean by that is like making them, an offer they can't refuse to get them out, I guess. I don't know. I mean, didn't put a gun to their head. He put money up to them. Ware said the main issue was getting everyone paid, and his conversations with AB about the matter would get so bad the receiver would resort to texting him violent threats. According to Ware, Brown, who now owns 95% of the team, was a nightmare to work with as his ego got in the way of improving the squad and helping others move on to the next level. It all became about him, not the football team, Coach said. We built a wonderful organization over 3 years. He came in and killed it. We're told team members usually expect their game checks the week after each game, but once the money didn't hit their banks for the past 2 games in April, players decided that they would or thought about sitting out. Eventually, the athletes agreed to suit up when they were shown what appeared to be a payment confirmation, but following Sunday's game, Castronova said, that's the quarterback, said players were still without their check, and several captains decided to confront team officials on the team bus back from North Carolina. Once they got to their team hotel, the coach, the captains, and several other players discovered that their room keys no longer worked. And hotel staffers told them it was Antonio Brown's fault. He did it all. D. Squarius Green, who sent me this story, says his dad was an Arena League legend in Albany in the 90s. Touchdown Eddie Brown. That's why Antonio said, oh, yeah, I remember being here when I was a kid. Thank you for that detail. But look at this. This is actually a piece of paper that says players to not be given room keys per Antonio Brown group. And the coach, that's the quarterback. All these guys are fucked. They couldn't even go in and get their shit. They had to deal with the housekeeper in order to make it happen. Several key players are fed up and They left the team. That's it. Oh, shit. My God. What a catastrophe. Tyler says Antonio Brown. That's that great CMU education on full display. I remember watching Antonio Brown play college football when we would go. I was there with Greg. I went there with our old pal Smug Beer. It was Smug Beer and myself, and I forget who else. Watched CMU with Antonio Brown, and Brian Kelly was the coach. Holy shit. Okay, hey, Puppy Dog is losing her mind at about 30 minutes after she starts to get antsy and has to go potty. So don't go anywhere. I will be right back. With a load of iron ore, 21,000 tons more. Or is it 31? 31,000 tons more. Hurricane West Wind. Right. I'll be joining my pal E-Rock today, and I think, what's the guy again from Comic Book Men? The fuck? And he was Brian Johnson. Is that it? Brian Johnson? Not AC/DC Brian Johnson. This dude. He, E-Rock, and myself are doing a show today. At least he does the show with E-Rock called Would You Kindly. And they basically talk shit for an hour, and occasionally I join them. So I'll be doing E-Rock's show today with Brian Johnson. What's this guy's character's name? Tell him Steve Dave? Yeah, Tell him Steve Dave. Is it Steve Dave? Steve Dave or Tell him Steve Dave? I don't know. I don't recall the character. All I know is that everybody knows who this guy is. Like when I tell them that I'll be doing a show with this guy, they go, "Oh my God, he's like awesome." I go, I'll take your word for it. He just seems like a nice dude to me with a long beard, with like an epic fucking beard. Kyle says, if only there was some device where you could look this information up. Shut up. Fucking idiot. Okay. For those of you that are getting the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm going to send you on your way. If you really want to help the show, I want you to subscribe to the audio podcast on whatever platform that you choose. Just hit the subscribe button so that it automatically, each audio podcast that I produce and put up there, you get it, okay? I would love it if you did that. I would also love it if you would sign up twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live to get this full show in its entirety so that you don't have to get interrupted like you're about to right now. I have t-shirts at ericzaneshow.com, which are often on sale for like $16. If you go there to ericzaneshow.com and you click merch and the t-shirts are not $16, they're like $22, wait a day or two. They're going to be on sale before you know it. I also do cameos, cameo.com/EricZane. They're $20 a pop, and they're awesome. And then, of course, ad-free, listener-supported Patreon. The biggest puzzle piece to an independent show is Patreon. If you enjoy the free podcast, please consider signing up for ad-free, listener-supported Patreon. Patreon.com/EricZane. But for now, if you're on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.